Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
So greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira from Munira's Musings. How are you today? We are back with another guest, Brian Winch from Alberta, Canada. How are you, everybody? Hi, Brian. Welcome to Munira's Musings.
Well, hi, Munira. It's great to be here.
Great. So Brian is here and he has a very unique business. It's the cleanup business. We'll talk to him in just a minute, but we are here to talk to you about what Munira's Musings is all about and what the Niche Navigator does. I started my journey as the Niche Navigator about seven years ago. When I did it a long time ago, but I officially became the Niche Navigator 7 years ago. And what we do is we try to help other people take to where they want to go and where they are at and take them to where they want to go. Sometimes the journey is not a straight road, so you have to go round in circles to figure it out. But it is all about alignment and it's about niches. Our guest today is Brian. Brian, welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's great to be here this morning.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 62 years of age. I've been in the very same business for 40 plus years. I was working as a shipper receiver at a large sporting goods company back in 1981. And I realized, I couldn't see myself working there the rest of my life. It was basically a dead end job. I wasn't a great student in school. I barely graduated high school, so I didn't go to college. Didn't have a lot of money or skills. So I was looking at different opportunities, for self-employment. And right around that time, my dad, who was a caretaker and had done a number of side hustles himself to support my two brothers and I and my mother growing up, did a number of side hustles like cutting grass, shoveling snow in the winter, but he also cleaned up litter from a parking lot in the neighborhood. And he had taken me along with him a couple of times when I was a young teen, probably 11, 13, 14 years old. And I remember how easy that work was to do. He had a contract to maintain the property litter free. And we would go, him and I, early in the morning, me before school and he before he went to his work, before the businesses were open. And so we had the nice, peace and solitude of working outdoors in the early morning. And we would just simply walk the property, the sidewalks, parking lot, surrounding landscape, and sweep up any litter material into our collection tools. So, with that memory, I thought, well, you know what, maybe there's a business in that for me. And I started it out as a side hustle. And within a few months, I was making more money cleaning up litter from parking lots than from my full-time job. And I gave up my my job, and I've been in the business ever since and continuing to scale it. I scaled it from a side hustle into a business that does high six figures every year.
So picking up litter. So first of all, I come from a third world country and people are not very cognizant of the Mother Earth. So just throw stuff away and everywhere. But why in America do people make litter?
Well, I'll never understand the psychology behind it. It's just easier. It's more convenient for people to basically consume, their coffee, their fast food lunch, and then right in the parking lot, just open their car doors or roll down their window and toss it out onto the parking lot. I guess they feel somebody else is getting paid to clean it, and they could care less. And I haven't noticed any change in people's attitudes. Some people like to say, we shouldn't do that, and we need to be more conscious of the environment. But I see people from all ages and demographics, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. I'll still see people toss their empty Starbucks cup out of their window of their Mercedes, sport utility vehicle. And so, it used to bother me, but it doesn't anymore because, they've been, they've been putting money in my pockets for the past 40 years. And, it's a fact of life. People litter, they always will. And, there's big money to be made if you're willing to clean up after them.
Okay, so you started out as a side hustle, and in your bio, you said that you have made six-figure income in all of this. What started out as a small parking lot has now become how many parking lots?
Oh, well, I first started out with 2 properties. That was the first contract that I got working for myself. And, now I manage an operation that probably has well over 150 properties. And we bill out anywhere from 650 to about $710,000 a year. And that's all we do. It's a niche service. We don't try to be everything for everybody. We're not one of these, full-scale janitorial cleaning companies or a large landscape contractor that does snow removal and et cetera, et cetera. We focus on, doing litter cleanup at the appropriate time of day with the right tools. And then we also offer a free reporting service. It doesn't cost us any extra time to do it, but when we're at our properties, first thing in the morning, if we notice any property damage, vandalism, someone's, illegally dumped off a sofa or a mattress at the back of the building, we report these things to our customers. So they see us as the specialists in what we do, but they also appreciate the extra mile that we go in terms of, reporting these issues to them so they can act on them first thing in the morning when they come into work.
Right. Okay. So let's talk litter, right? You said people are just making litter and they're just going to do it. But then do you do residential or hotels or government offices or all of the above?
No, we just focus on the commercial property. With the property management companies, the management companies are our clients, not the individual businesses or anything like that. So, the types of properties we would service would be, the retail plazas, shopping plazas. Most of them are small to medium size, and then the smaller office developments and also office industrial, warehouse parks. And so, the good thing about them, they're typically all over the city. So, we can get to them easily and serve them. And yeah, it's been a great business for us.
So you started out as a one-man person. And
Mhm.
how many people do you employ now?
We have anywhere from 10 to 12. Some are full-time, some are part-time. It varies because it's a contract business. We pick up properties, we lose some, but I've had one building that I've done for close to 40 years now. So typically most of our accounts last several years until there could be a change in management or the property is sold and just the nature of the beast when you're in a contract cleaning operation.
So you came to the podcast and you wanted to share a message with everybody. What is your message?
Well, I've been very successful with performing or providing this niche cleaning service. It's very simple. Some people think, if they're in business or if they're going to go into business for themselves, it's going to be very difficult, and they've got to do everything their customers or their prospects ask of them or from them. And I'm here to say that find something that you enjoy doing or wouldn't mind doing, and and become the specialist, become the best in your field, as opposed to trying to be a jack of all trades and wind up as a master of none.
These are good points. So this is basically business 101, right? What you're telling us is this: find something that you like doing and then become the expert, subject matter expert. It doesn't matter if you're cleaning litter or you're cleaning fishes, right? I have
Right.
a friend who cleans fish tanks.
That's right. And I may be cleaning litter, but when I started, the focus was for me to work for myself, work my own hours, and work outdoors. And not everyone wants to work outdoors, but I've always been a person that likes a little bit of physical exercise every day, and why not get paid for it? And it just so happens the service I provide is cleaning up litter. But the tools that we use, we don't handle, we don't touch any of this stuff. The tools we use, allow us to clean up a parking lot in almost the time it takes to walk it. So, like the service we provide is almost as easy to do as going for a walk.
Right. So let's go back to when you first started this business, right? When you were with your dad, and then you decided there may be something in this for me. When you started this business, did anybody talk you out of it, or did you try to contradict your mission?
Well, that's a great question, because I hear it all the time from people, and unfortunately, oftentimes the people that will try to tell you that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it are people closest to you, family, friends. And so, I tell a lot of people that buy my book and are looking to start this business in their city, just if you can, don't go around and tell everyone, what you're going to do, because you're inevitably, some people are going to tell you that you're wasting your time, you shouldn't do it, you've never been in business before, what do you know, and just keep it to yourself. And then when you start becoming successful, then you can start sharing your success and start sharing with people that this is what I've done and this is what I'm doing, and hey, I'm having success doing it. And so but yeah, like I say, it just I talk to a lot of people, and unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of the feedback they get from their loved ones is you shouldn't try this.
Hey, you know what? It pays the bills, right? But that's the one thing that most people, when they start a business, it's always, I'm not good enough. Or somebody's going to tell you something. Even your heart says that you have to go continue doing it, but then somebody tells you something, and then you start contradicting yourself, and you just don't know where to go from there. Then sometimes people just give up on their dreams or whatever their vision is, and just let it go and say, you know what, I'm never going to be successful. Here you are cleaning. It's not derogatory, but the thing is, if you think about it, most people will say, oh, he's just cleaning up litter, right? But you are doing a service, one, to yourself by walking the parking lot, getting your exercise in the morning. Two, you're making money, and you're beautifying the place. So what advice do you have for people who are starting out as an entrepreneurs, and what would you tell them?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, find something that you will enjoy doing. Don't chase the dollar signs and get involved with something that at the end of the day, you're not really going to care about. You have to have a passion and bring patience and persistence to the table. That's the only way you're going to be successful. So if you enjoy, or if there's something about the opportunity that you're getting involved with, where you have a passion for, you're more likely to stick with it when you run into problems, especially when you're starting out. Because I mean, nothing runs, without any issues when you're starting, getting off the ground. And so like I say, in my case, I decided, I wanted to work outdoors, and the service happens to be something I've discovered to be very lucrative and very easy to do. And so, I'm the first to admit it's not the most glamorous business, but hey, like you say, it pays the bills, and I've been doing it for over 40 years, and I'm sharing this opportunity. There's a lot of other people across the country that I put in business, and they've got their own motivations for doing so, like maybe to pay down debt, or just to bring in extra money as a side hustle, and some have been actually more successful than I've become. And there's one fellow who was a school teacher and who bought my program about 3 years ago, and he's upwards of like 450 properties now. And so and it provides a great lifestyle when you're that successful. Yeah, I mean, I choose to still do this work because I enjoy doing it, but I've got other people that do most of the cleaning for me now. So I just know how to manage the business, get the clients, because of the experience of being in the business for 40 years, and I share all of that in my book. But just find something that you can bring some passion to, and you're more likely to be successful.
They say other people's trash is money in your pockets, right? So you mentioned your book. What's your book about? What's the title?
Oh, the book is called, and it's more of an instructional manual, actually, like, if someone were to buy a franchise, it's how to start and operate this type of business. And it's called Cleanlots, America's Simplest Business. And it's available on my website at cleanlots.com. And it's on Amazon and all the various online booksellers as well. But it comes with free support. And a lot of people tell me, Brian, you're crazy. Why you're giving away your time, free support? But it's my way of giving back and honoring the memory of my dad, who he didn't live to see how successful his little side hustle became so successful. First is my side hustle, and then ultimately a six-figure business of over 40 years. So and I enjoy helping other people that are starting out these days, much the same I was over 40 years ago, and sharing their success with me.
So that was going to be my next question. Is like, did your father? How proud was he when he was?
Well, like, he never lived. I mean, I was just toying around with the various ideas, and I was thinking, in the fall, in September of that time period back then. That's when I wanted to find something to launch, and he passed away unexpectedly at the end of July, at the age of 61, from a massive heart attack. So I didn't, I only had the memory of helping him out at this one shopping plaza, which wasn't too far away from where we lived at the time. But I didn't have his experience to call upon, like, his contacts. All I knew was his client was a property management company, and I had that extra motivation, I guess, at that time to prove to everyone that, hey, what he was doing on the side could be turned into a successful business.
That's awesome. So you have become a guidance counselor for everybody who is starting out an entrepreneur, right? And when you started 40 years ago, and people that are starting now and coming to you for advice, what do you think has changed in the 40-year span?
Oh, well, the way you market your business. When I started, there wasn't an internet. The internet at the time was the big fat Yellow Pages telephone directory.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I went to find where my prospects were. Property management companies. But nowadays, it's so much easier if you're starting this business or any other business. I mean, all the information is at your fingertips. It's online, and there's really no excuses for not starting something, whether it be a business or it could be anything, because the information is so easily found, and it's so easy to start. I mean, in terms of getting any licenses, insurance, all of that stuff can be done online. And so, yeah, I would encourage, anyone, whether it's starting a business or getting involved in a social cause or whatever, you do something, because it brings great, satisfaction to you, personally, and great feelings knowing that you're helping other people.
So there are people out there. I started this segment of Munira's Musings because there's so many people who are waiting on the sidelines. They never jump in the pool. And you are the guiding light for those people. So one advice for everybody that you think is standing on the sidelines, what do you tell them? Well,
it's not enough just to jump in the pool and get started. I tell a lot of people, when some people might be stuck, a lot of people have the tendency just to stop, and they're stuck. Well, one thing when you're in business, you learn for yourself, okay, I can't personally solve this problem, but, I can find a mentor. I can find somebody else to help me, or I can find the information online. And so, just keep moving forward. And I have an expression: if you work your business will work for you.
I like that. I like that very much. Thank you so much. Any last words? anything that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you?
Well, if you want to learn more about my opportunity, you can check all the information on my website at cleanlots.com. There is a brief video that shows me actually doing the work, so you get an understanding of you see with your own eyes how easy this work is to do. And there's also a free report on my website for you to download. It's free, and if you want to decide, look into this opportunity more to decide if it's for you or not.
So are you then selling this as a franchise?
No, it's not a franchise. I sell it as a book, and there's some other business-related marketing tools for you. Your choice if you want to purchase them. So I try to keep it as affordable as possible to people that don't have a lot of money in their pockets, but they know they want to work for themselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. This has been a really interesting conversation, because who knew that there was an opportunity somewhere, right? And there are opportunities around you all the time. You just have to be open to looking at them. That's what
right.
I think.
That's right.
Right. And you never know how people make themselves the millionaires they want to do. So one question that has always that's something that I've always wanted to ask, which this year, 2023 is going to be the year that I ask, are you a millionaire?
My bank account is pretty good. I lead a good life. So, but my parents taught me not to brag about how much money you have in the bank account. I'm very happy. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I can see that. The twinkle in your eye shows that. No, the reason I ask that is that most people don't realize that becoming a millionaire takes a little bit of work, and you have to keep trudging. And what you had said was passion and persistence, right? To do things that you said.
Well, have you heard of the book? I think The Millionaire Next Door.
Yes.
Well, there's several editions, but that is a classic book. A lot of people don't realize or understand that most millionaires, a lot of millionaires, have made their fortunes from services such as mine. Maybe they run a dry cleaning business, or they run a lot of businesses that don't tend to be glamorous. A lot of people have this idea that the only people that are rich have done it without doing any work. It's real estate or something like that. It takes work and years to create. If you want to become a millionaire, it doesn't happen overnight.
No, and I get it. So how has this book, The Millionaire Next Door, affected you? Have you read it several times?
Yeah, I read it, way back in the 80s, when I was in this business for about 4 years. And it kind of opened my eyes that, a lot of people you look at and and they don't necessarily live in mansions. I mean, they might live right next door to you. I mean, hence the title, The Millionaire Next Door. They don't flaunt their wealth. I mean, one of the reasons they're wealthy is they know how to budget. They go on vacations. I mean, they take care of themselves, but and they take care of their workers. But you know what? They work for their money. They work a living, and oftentimes it is these blue collar jobs. But the key point is you find a niche and you fill it. Not everyone wants to clean parking lots, right? So I do, and other people that I train do, and that's why we make good money doing it, because not everyone wants to do it.
No, I get it. I mean, as a niche navigator, most people think that, if I just start a coaching business or when I just do that, but it takes work. You have to come out with your own voice. You have to come out with I know there's nothing under the sun that anybody is teaching you that hasn't been taught before. It just has to be done with your flavor, right?
That's right.
And
That's
infused with yourself, and then understand how you can market. And that's another thing that's very, very vital to a business and entrepreneurship, is how you market and how you show up for yourself. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for the advice that you've shared with us. Any last words before we go?
Well, just one last plug, if I may. My website, once again, is cleanlots.com. And, if you've got questions, you can just reach out to me, fill out a contact form on my website, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I would love to do that. I will download your book just to see what marketing strategies you implement. And thank you so much for being on Munira's Musings. I look forward to another conversation pretty soon.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. If you like this, go ahead, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with another guest next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a good week. Bye.
Thank you for listening
Bye-bye.
to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.